Okay, so I got this cool care package from BJB Enterprises that we're going to unbox and take a look at. Haylee sent me some cool stuff to check out and to try out. BJB Enterprises is new in the makerspace. They've been around for like 40 years, so they're not actually new, but they are getting more into what and mostly they've been in, kind of industrial and stuff like that, but they're getting into more maker and hobbyist kind of level stuff. And so I talked to Haylee and told her kind of what I do and what I need, and she sent me a bunch of stuff, samples to look at stuff and everything else. So let's see what's in the box. Paperwork. Quick start guide to BJB materials. Little information about viscosity and shore hardness, and kind of a quick guide to all of their products. How to choose what you want, different kinds of silicones, all their different series of polyurethane resins and foams and rubbers and mold release and pigments, all kinds of goodies. Okay, so that's the quick guide. And then we have the full-on catalog here with all kinds of fun stuff in it. This is actually something I really am interested in. They have this TC814, which is an aluminum-filled fast cast urethane. So like when I'm making my cold cast coins and things, instead of having to mix it myself and everything else, it's basically ready to go. Mix it, pour it, and you have your aluminum cold cast stuff. It's cool if you want aluminum, but also you can use it for things that you need to have aluminum in them, conduct heat and things like that. Lots of videos. They do have a lot of cool video tutorials. I've watched a bunch of them. All their flexible polyurethanes, quite the range of stuff. Semi-rigid urethanes, and all the rigid urethanes. The rigid filled, like I was talking about, the aluminum filled one is pretty cool. They have some other filled ones. They even have fire rated urethanes, which is pretty cool to think about, because I always think of urethanes as like stuff that melts and you can't really do things like get them warm, but it's pretty cool. Some of them you can actually use for like up to like 300-400 degrees. Water clear polyurethanes, brushable polyurethanes for doing brush on molds and things. That's pretty cool. I'm definitely going to be taking advantage of that. Sprayable polyurethane, and then they have foams, which are really cool. That was one of the things I asked her to send me samples of, which I think I see in there, because I have an idea to make Billy the Brick foam bricks that I can hand out and things at conventions. So hopefully in the near future I will have foam bricks to hand out to people. So if you come to one of the next conventions that I go to, probably going to be San Diego Comic-Con, then you might get a brick if you find me. Let's see what else. Silicone casting systems, surface coating, adhesive, which we're going to talk about a little bit more because there's supposedly a sample of that in there too. You might have saw Evil Ted just got a sample too, and he posted about it, but looks pretty promising. Epoxy resin systems, mold release, pigments, additives, coatings. Oh, this is something that I'm really excited about. I want to get this and try it. They have this, their SC92 is a flexible water-based coating. Oh, look at that stretch. So this is basically, you pigment it whatever color you want, and you paint it on something like, say, I don't know, foam armor. And look at how much it stretches without cracking or anything. It's basically like a rubber paint. It's not rubber, it's a polyurethane, but yeah, it is basically stretchy paint that you can paint on stuff, and then you don't have to worry about cracking and breaking and everything else. So I think that'll be really cool on like foam props and armor and stuff. So I'm gonna check some of that out. Ooh, equipment. Equipment is nice. lots of big equipment. Probably don't need any of that right now. Maybe later, down the road. And then some more tech tips that are probably helpful for people getting started. And, oh look, charts, conversions, how to do volume. Important when you're trying to figure out how much stuff to use. And, oh, distributors everywhere. That's one of the really cool things about BJB Enterprises is that they're a lot closer to me. That's one of the problems with getting stuff from Smooth On for me, is that I have to order stuff and it comes from pretty far away. And when you're ordering a bunch of big, heavy chemicals and things, it takes forever to get anywhere. So this stuff came from California because that's where they're based. But it looks like they have a distributor in Tacoma, which is cool because shipping from Tacoma or even making a trip would be awesome because that would save some money and time. All right, let's see what's actually in here. So, first we'll look at the all-important random swag. A bag to put stuff in. Never have too many bags, although I say that and we have so many bags. A pen. Looks like a nice pen. Comfort grip. That's always good. A ruler. Ooh. Look, it has a cool magnifying thing on it. You can't probably... Oh, you can see. That's for when I need to be able to see and I can't... I'm not that old yet. I can still see pretty well. Notepad. Always going to come in handy. So anyway, you guys don't care about that stuff. Here's the cool stuff. A keychain. No, that's not the cool stuff. So these are the samples of some of the silicones and some of the resins and some of the foams. So let's see. So the first 4 things here are different of the different silicone resin rubbers. So this one is really cool. This is 5120. Oh, well, tear strength is not that great, but it's pretty stretchy. I broke it. I suck. This one is 5015, which is a clear rubber. I'm not going to pull it by over here just because I don't want to test it. Also pretty stretchy. 5024, which I can tell is a little bit harder, and this really cool bright blue color. It's like a Voltron blue. I know, Voltron the brain. And then 5041, which is doesn't really stretch at all. Nice and hard and rigid. So those are 4 of the silicones. I bet some of these, I wonder if, let's look at the book since we have it. These are all platinum based. Let's see, 5015 is platinum, 5024 is tin, that's the Voltron blue one, and then 5041 is also a platinum based one. And then we have these 2 of the urethane resins, TC808, which is, I use Smoothcast 300 for all like the Bayards and all the stuff that I do. So that was what I told them that I used, and this is supposedly pretty comparable to that. It actually feels harder, which is nice. I mean, that's pretty thin for resin, and I can't even really flex it. I'm pretty sure if this was smooth cast, I would flex quite a bit more than that. And then this is 878, which is clear, which I actually use a clear resin for the coins that I'm making and that I'm going to be using in the gems, in the daggers when I get around to casting those. And my Ashitaka dagger too, I use a clear resin and then I tint it. So this is pretty nice because, again, pretty dang hard, and that's really clear. That's not even one of their water clear urethanes. This is 878, which isn't, they have a whole group of water clear urethanes which are even probably, it looks like they're not, some of them are just as hard as this. Interesting. Oh, this has a 15-minute work time. It's pretty good. Some of these are really fast. Oh, that was the nice thing I forgot, yeah, about the TC808 is it has a 2-minute work time and a 30-minute demold time, so it's pretty fast. Not quite as fast as Smoothcast, but I'd trade a few more minutes for something significantly more rigid. And what about the foams? So let's flip to the foam page. So let's see, we have 266, 74, 77, and 84. Oh, how convenient. Those are the 4 polysofts. So those are them. So all of them actually have a bit of a skin. You probably can't tell the difference between the top. Maybe you can. They have like a bit of a skin versus the side versus the skin. But so the TC266 is, all of these foams, by the way, are a 2-part foam. So the 266 is pretty squishy. I think this is too squishy for the bricks that I want to make. 274 is a 4-pound foam, which is a bit more rigid. You can tell the difference there. But not that much of a difference, I can tell. And then 277 is a 4-pound medium density that has a much bigger skin, which is used for like special effects props. So you can see this is the squishy one, and this is pretty tough. And then this is the 284, which is an 8-pound with a even thicker skin. And that one is very thick. So that one's pretty much out, and this one's out. So it's probably going to be somewhere between these two. If you have any opinion on what you think my brick should be made out of, let me know. Really squishy or kind of squishy? It's kind of hard. I think I'm leaning more towards like 274 because I want people to be able to, I don't know, throw them at each other, squish them. It's kind of like stress ball strength, so it's pretty cool. All right, look for those. And you can tint this stuff, so it's going to be colored throughout. It's not going to just be like painted on the outside. So if it got ripped or something, the bricks I'm making, that is, you wouldn't have like white underneath. It would be colored throughout. All right, and then the last thing, which is actually the thing I'm the most excited about in here, saved it for last, because it's something I actually get to do something with. Okay, so this is the glue gun. Yeah, I don't even know how this works. I'll have to figure it out. This goes in here somehow. Doesn't matter, 'cause I'm not gonna use it right now. But this is actually brand new, which is why it's on a tear out sheet in here. But they're calling it Armor Bond, and it comes in, I don't know if I should open this right now. I want to open it. It doesn't say not to open it before use. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's going to be in a container inside this. No, I don't want to open it. I don't want to ruin it before I even get a chance to use it. But basically, they have two flavors of the Armor Bond. They have a flexible and a rigid adhesive, and it's good for lots of things. But the thing that I'm anxious to try it for, and like I mentioned, Evil Ted got some of this, and he glued a hand to some foam. I know Charles over at Ebony Warrior Studios tried some of this stuff out too. He's actually like the BJB Enterprises cosplay spokesperson guy. He has like a whole sponsorship deal, which is cool. I'm very happy for Charles. He's a cool guy. If you don't follow Charles, you should check him out, Ebony Warrior Studios. He's Batman, and he's like amazing. He was on the first episode of Cosplay Melee, and he won, but he just is, he blows my mind every day, the stuff that he posts. Anyway, so this glue, it has a rigid and a flexible kind. This is the flexible one. Yeah, this is the flexible one, which is kind of cool, gluing foam together. Basically, it's a replacement for barge. Will it replace barge in everything I do? No, because as you can see, what you're gonna have is basically, it's kind of like a, well, I guess it is an epoxy. maybe it's not. It's sort of like an epoxy where it mixes together and you squirt it out and it mixes together out of here. So once you open it, I have a feeling that you have to pretty much use all of this in relatively short order, but maybe not. I guess if it's like epoxy, just whatever is still in the container will be fine. But versus barge, where you can just like take out a little bit and mix it. The other thing with this is that it does have a longer set time than like contact cement, obviously, where you're like glue and you're done. But you can glue stuff together with this, and I haven't tried it yet, obviously, but it sticks really well. And like I said, if it's the flexible stuff, then you still have some flex in your joints and things, so you don't have to worry as much as things breaking. I think if you use barge or contact cement, it's probably going to have similar properties once it's sealed, once it's, you know, cured. But if you're used to using stuff like hot glue and super glue, this is probably going to be a lot better for like not having breaks and things in stuff that's flexible. But I cannot wait to try it out on my armor that I'm going to be making. What armor, you ask? I am not going to tell you. Sorry, it's a secret. It's my super secret cosplay. I'm making some armor, and the only way you can find out about it ahead of time, ahead of whenever I reveal it, is by being one of my Patreon backers, because they get to see it. But I was convinced that I should do Loki from Thor Ragnarok before I do my armor, so you'll probably not see my armor for even longer. That's okay. Loki's next. Maybe I'll use this for Loki. That doesn't sound like a bad idea. Although there's not a lot of armor in there. There's a little bit of shoulder armor, and then I have to make the crown, faceplate, horn thing, which will probably be a good combination of foam and things, so I will probably maybe try it out on that. And that is it. So, if you have any questions about any of the BJB stuff, you can ask me, or you can go check them out. They're on Facebook and Instagram, and you can go to their site. But yeah, they're pretty cool, and they have a wide range of products. And I am excited to be working with them and to check out their stuff. If you have anything, like I said, if you have any questions or anything, hit me up. And I can put you in touch with Haylee if I don't know the answer to anything, and she will help you. She is very helpful and very nice and very cool. All right. I hope everybody has a good weekend. I will see you later.